All right, here goes Reflective Practitioner Video Journal number 2 for week 4. At my school site, the leadership is fairly stable. We haven't had any turnover this year. We did add another Dean of Students to support. However, at the central office level, the leadership has not been stable. We've actually had 3 key members of our central office team leave. One of them was Director of Student Services and was my direct supervisor. Another was a Chief Information Officer. So again, 2 really integral roles for not just for student support, but really for influencing data usage and informing best practices. Among our teaching staff, our veteran teachers are definitely key. They hold a lot of influence. They have the expertise. They know the internal systems and procedures of the school. And most importantly, they kind of sway the opinion and sentiment of the staff when it comes to buying into new initiatives or new programs. Currently, all our teachers are really passionate, really invested in the students, but I don't think they have that same level of investment in the school policies and procedures. So when we have a new initiative, new guidelines we have to follow, it's always an uphill battle. I think it's like that for most schools, if not most organizations. It's a matter of getting the investment from the stakeholders. And if you don't have that investment, then no program, no initiative, no matter how necessary or how crucial, is going to be successful. Our current routines and practices, do they support data use? Yeah, we mine a ton of data like any other school. Most of it's student achievement data between, federal and state testing, the SBAC, the IBs, ICAs, so many other benchmarks, and then on top of that, we have our internal map testing that we do. We do have a lot of student data and achievement information, but I don't think we utilize it effectively to inform the practices yet. We're trying to. We have an RTI coordinator that focuses specifically just on analyzing the data, disaggregating it, and coming up with student support plans for the teachers. The changing state and federal policies definitely will affect our efforts at school, because whatever is regulated and mandated, we're forced to give, to schedule, and then to utilize that information. So even right now, as we're moving into April and May, which are going to be huge testing months, the scheduling alone is difficult. And this is on top of AP testing, self-testing, so many other tests that schools and students have to perform. The existing professional capacity of teachers and leaders to undertake new practices and institute change. Again, I think we have very willing teachers, but capable teachers. But when it comes to convincing them that's in not only their best interest, the students' best interests, the school's best interests, to undertake new practices and institute effective change, that's a different story. One of the ways that we're trying to utilize student data, not just student achievement data, at our school sites to really look at the behavioral data and use it in a way that's effective for change, for yielding positive student outcomes. So for example, referral data, lunch detention data, we already consume a lot of data. We take down a lot of data. Behavior entries are input into our learning management system. It's looked at the end of the year to determine intervention supports, what type of PBIS efforts we can use. But we haven't seen the results we want to yet. So that's letting us know that while we're taking in a lot of that data, the practices we're putting in place in response to that data is just not effective. As we move towards a more robust PBIS model, we're now trying to target those interventions based on that data to be something that is realistic, practical, and actually going to address the specific behaviors that we're seeing from the students. Some efforts we have are school community service, a lot more prevention rather than intervention through social emotional supports and resources. I think it's key in changing school climate and culture and allowing the academic component to yield the results you want from a student achievement and academic side.